Well then, back again. This is an addendum and an apology to Swing Bossa, because having a very quick look at what I had filmed there, I think I ended up it transpired I'm calling him Bossa Nova. Maybe a quite nice name to have actually, but and of course it's not Susanna McCorkadale, as I've said, but Susanna McCorkle. Still, and also I noticed that on the filming, because I didn't have the angles right, what actually happened was I was virtually filming blind there, because I was looking into the to the sun, so I hadn't really set the camera up properly. I just sort of guessed where the top part of my body was. But I said I did notice that in lots of the shots I was twiddling my thumbs. Wasn't out of boredom, it's obviously something which I do, and I'll need to make absolutely certain that in the future all you're going to see is the top part of my body. Anyway, let the story commence.
Hello there, good to be with you. It's a beautiful day outside, and I decided I would do a very quick video because I've not seemed to have done one for some time. In my last video I included a photograph of my Australian granddaughter, and Swing Bossa was good enough to pass a comment which made me smile and amused me, because I said to myself internally, well, obviously if you are saying anything to yourself it is internally, but the comment he passed was he liked the photograph, saw the similarity between my granddaughter and Mercedes, and he said, and from such a faraway distance, or words to that effect. This amused me because I said, is this a guy with an American with a dry sense of humour? Because I've never really encountered many Americans with a dry or a droll sense of humour. And then I thought perhaps he was a member of the naive Society of Philosophy, because he's absolutely correct. Australia is very far from everywhere else, so please excuse me if it would appear that I'm taking the mickey, which I'm not really. It was very nice of Bossa Nova to comment. As a matter of course, I decided to have a quick look at Bossa Nova's website, or whatever, I can't remember under the circumstance. And when I opened it up, the thing that struck me or hit me immediately between the eyes was there was a video there to include the song "Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most." And this really is the story, or my story, of trying to trace the composer and the lyricist of "Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most." Lots of jazz guys will know this, because it really is a jazz standard, or has become a jazz standard. So I started to look, and I discovered that it was written by the lyrics were written by Fran Landesman. Now this really didn't mean a great deal to me, because this was going back in the times when PCs and websites and all that, they just didn't exist. There was no search engines, so all my searching had to be done in the public library. And of course I made the big mistake, because I was looking for someone called Frans Landersman, and as you probably realise, I never found Frans Landersman. In fact, I never even found Fran Landersman, because I didn't think about I didn't really think at the time that this was a lyric written by a lady. Anyway, some time went by, and one night up in one of the local pubs, a very small pub, a very dear friend of mine, Bob Jenkins, and his Southern Jazz Quartet was playing there. They were actually residents there, and this was one of the best jazz clubs ever. It was a very small place, very smoky, very sweaty, but the jazz was absolutely incredible. And you really had to get up at there early to actually get a seat. Otherwise, you're almost standing beside the barman or the barmaid where she was pulling the pints. Anyway, the night was a tremendous evening. Everybody was smashed out of their minds eventually, and suddenly Bob started playing this tune that I'd never heard before, and of course it transpires it was "Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most." So that was the night was a great success. We all went home happily, and of course even at that time we used to have a volunteer driver. Every one of the boys took a turn to be the chauffeur for the evening. So there was no drink drive involved in there, but we certainly wakened up with very sore heads in the morning. But as I said, great fun, great memories. In the meantime, I was the founder and administrator of a very successful youth jazz orchestra, big band jazz orchestra, and Bob was one of the musical directors to help out. Time went along, and I saw in a catalogue, "Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most." I said to Bob, "How would this sound with big band?" And he said it would be a great number with a big band. This was written by a guy called Frank Montooth, and it transpired, an American called Frank Montooth, and it transpired that the arrangement was absolutely incredible. And this spurred me on once again to discover more about Fran Landesman. I have a very funny feeling that this video will last for more than 10 minutes. So I think it might appear in 2-volume form, but we'll find out later on once I sit down, and obviously I'll need to edit the thing because in my usual fashion I'll be scratching my nose, twitching my ears, tending to look away from the camera, and everything that's wrong in terms of filmmaking or interviewing, or call it what you like.
Well, as I said earlier, Tempest Fugit and all that, we've been overtaken by the YouTube 10-minute rule. So yes, we are going into volume 2, so stay tuned, and we will continue the Landesman story. Bye for now.